Can we start recording, please? Thank you, Miriam. Okay. So, halacha. So first of all, tomorrow night is bdikat chametz. When do you start doing bdikat chametz? So the earliest time is after nightfall. So beforehand, you want to make sure you've cleaned all your house, you've done the final cleaning, your final kitchen, everything's covered, and then you do the last check of bdikat chametz. That is done after nightfall. Once there is nightfall, then you are obligated to do the mitzvah of bdikat chametz. And we said the halacha is that you're not allowed to not even have a meal beforehand. You can drink something, eat something small, but no meal. And not even study Torah. You have to do the mitzvah of bdikat chametz, and with all your children, bring them, all the household, everyone together. We're going to do the mitzvah.
After Arvit.
Oh, so that's it. Tadir v'she'eno tadir chodem. You do Arvit, and then you do remind everyone after Arvit to do bdikat chametz. On Friday morning, we have the biur chametz. Okay. Then Shabbat. So Shabbat, we said, you said you are allowed to eat chametz still on Shabbat until 10 o'clock on Shabbat morning. And just if you do eat chametz, you make sure you wash your hands and wash your teeth properly. We said the story of the Ben Ish Chai. Suda Shlishit. I don't know if you have the times, but Suda Shlishit needs to be finished by the end of the 9th hour. So in Israel, the time is 4 o'clock. I imagine in England, maybe it's a bit earlier. Maybe, do you have the time for that? You have to have the Suda Shlishit earlier on. Okay, so maybe we'll find out.
Why early again?
I do have the time. Just give me 1 second.
Why early? So the end of the 10th hour is the last time for having a Suda. Why? Because you're supposed to have te'avon for the evening. That means you're supposed to eat the matzah le'te'avon. What does it mean te'avon? You have to have the appetite. You can't eat just before Chag, you're full, and then you come to eat the matzah, I'm already in the mood. Why? Because you have to have a kazait. You're supposed to remember it. You're supposed to be eating it. Now, this is very important. You have to understand the mitzvah of the night. Every mitzvah says the chida is gold, worth and gold. So you want to fulfill all the mitzvot properly. The main mitzvot we said, the oraita is sipur yetziat mitzrayim, but there's also mitzvah of matzah, dalet kosot, and maror. Now you want to make sure you do them all properly. There's mitzvah b'machshava, b'maaseh, b'dibur. And the actions that you do, and that action is when you're eating them. Okay, so
3:15.
Thank you very much. So finish by 3:15. So maybe you want to start Suda Shlishit already by 2 o'clock. So by 3:15 you can already do Birkat Hamazon.
Wow.
So obviously Shabbat morning you need to wake up early to already finish having
but I'm just thinking about it, Rabbi. If we have Leila Seder at the night, so it's Suda Shlishit in the context of Mea Brachot, it is less important, right? Because you can reach the Mea Brachot with Haggadah and everything. Yeah. So it's I'm just saying that
maybe it gives you another 4 or 5 brachot. Yeah.
You can do a lighter Suda Shlishit.
Suda Shlishit you can be Yotzei Yedei Chova with fruit or with fish or with vegetables, that you can do. If you want to do Hamotzi, there's an extra advantage to doing Hamotzi to fulfill the mitzvah with Hamotzi. On Shabbat afternoon, you're allowed to go to sleep, even though you're preparing for the night, but not say, I'm going to sleep to have strength for the Suda. And that's the advantage of this year, that everyone can get to sleep, even those preparing the Suda, even the women and the man who's preparing, everyone has a nice rest, and you get ready for your Leila Seder. Preparing the table. So there is halacha, you're not allowed to prepare mikodesh lekodesh. That means from Shabbat to Yom Tov. You are allowed to prepare from Yom Tov to Shabbat if you do Erev Tavshilin. But you cannot prepare from Shabbat to Yom Tov. Shabbat has a higher kedusha than Yom Tov. You cannot prepare from Shabbat to Yom Tov. Therefore, there are many poskim which say you're not allowed to even set the table. However, and this was a chiddush for me today, I heard the shiur from Rabbi Binyamin Chuta. He said in the name of Rabbi Zalman Menachem Goldberg, which was the chief rabbi of Yerushalayim. And he said a chiddush that to prepare the table, you are allowed even on Shabbat. And I'll tell you why this is a chiddush. It's neged. Or everybody doesn't say this, but he says it, and he brings a proof that making the table nice, it's nice for Shabbat, because you see on Shabbat, you enjoy seeing the table set out nicely. It brings a proof from Borer. So there's difference of opinion. So if somebody wants to be lenient to make this table nice on Shabbat, if you enjoy, and the reason is because you're enjoying it on Shabbat. You're not allowed to prepare for Yom Tov. If you're not enjoying it on Shabbat, you're only going to enjoy it on Yom Tov. But if you're preparing on Shabbat and you enjoy it on Shabbat to see the table set on Shabbat, then it's not considered preparing on Yom Tov because it's like preparing on Shabbat because you're enjoying to see on Shabbat. It's not according to everyone, but there is a lenient opinion. So that's why I mentioned the shiur. You can say that in my name, in the name of Rabbi Netanel Dadoun, in the name of Rabbi women, very important. Before Leil Seder, we all say in Bet HaKnesset Hallel with a bracha. This is the one time a year a woman can say a bracha on Hallel at night time, and everyone should be encouraged to tell the wives to do it, to give thanks. This is the night of appreciation, and Hallel is saying thank you to God. It's one of my wife's favorite tefillot is tefillat Hallel, and everyone should be encouraged to do that. And especially this year when you have a Shabbat to rest beforehand, everyone has their time and to do it. The time for lighting candles, may I correct me, I think it's also 7:13 or maybe 8:13 in London. I think it's 7:13, but May is going to check for us. And then start Leil Seder. So, when you set the table, the best things that you set for on the table. If you have silver, glass dishes, according to what you have, you put on all the best things on the table. Even candlesticks, you're allowed to put on the table. Yom Tov, you're allowed to light candles, you can put them on the table. If you have silver goblets, if you have glass. Using plastic and disposable is allowed. You are allowed, especially if you're many people. Sometimes you don't have so many glass. So you're allowed to use that, but have nice plastic. Because you're supposed to be derech cherut, derech freedom, to make you feel freed and have that good feeling. Starting the Haggadah. What's the first thing that you do when you start the Haggadah?
Bebeluya.
So before the first thing you say, and this is very important at Piyasod, there's deep secrets behind it, is to say the simanim. Kadesh, Urechad. So you say all of them, all the 15, okay? And sometimes you get the children to repeat it, and everyone has to go and saying it in a nice tune. But it's not just a nice tune and a nice tradition. It's a sequence. And last week we spoke about the importance of the sequence and what it reveals there. And there's a lot of depth behind it, reasons which I don't even know, according to Kabbalah, to say it. Not only that, each stage of the Haggadah, when you get up to it, say it again. Now we're doing Urchatz. Now we're doing Karpas. Now we're doing Magid. Now we're doing Rachza. But say the word Rachza. Don't say, okay, now we're washing. If you're leading the Seder, you say it. Also, maybe say it. It's very important. What clothes do you wear on Leil Seder? White clothes. So you wear your best clothes, Shabbat clothes. Women wear the best clothes. Children wear their best clothes. For Leil Seder. The person leading Leil Seder, he's considered like the Kohen Gadol. He should wear white clothes. If you have a white jalabia or white kittel or even a white shirt, but lavan like Kippur, because this is a time where we're clean, we have a special elevation on this night. And then the first one is Kadesh. So you say your all the simanim, Halel Nirtzah, and then you say Kadesh. Now we're doing Kadesh. So wine. So first of all, which wine should you use? Do you have to have wine? Can you use grape juice? So let me just say it clear. Everybody can use grape juice. Okay? Everyone. Yain mevushal is mutar to do it. There is a preference, however, to use wine lo mevushal. That means wine mevushal. Wine not mevushal means, how do you say in English not mevushal? Dry red wine is the best. No, maybe say this here. Only somebody who's used to drinking wine should really drink wine. If you're not used to drinking wine, don't drink wine, drink grape juice. Even though there's an additional extra of having it in Mufshak, because according to the Rambam, it's not going to really considered wine, and according to Rabbi Shif and other poskim, you should use wine, not grape juice. However, if you're not used to having wine, what happens if you drink 4 cups of wine when you're not used to it? What happens? What goes in? It comes out. you throw up. Now, what happens if somebody eats matzah and he throws up, and drinks for wine and he throws up?
It's not Yotzeh.
It's not Tetzeh, and you need to eat again your matzah and eat again your wine. So be clever, or don't be too clever, and try to drink wine when you can't and you're not used to it. So what I usually do, I usually start drinking wine and then just quickly change to grape juice after the second cup. I switch back to grape juice.
Yeah, but
If you
it's
do that,
only
we're
86
strong.
grams. It's a
Okay, so
small
very good.
portion.
So how much do you need to drink? So thank you for that, Gilad. How much is 86 grams? So basically, if you have a cup about this big, okay, this is how much you're going to need. Maybe a little bit more. Let's do a bit, drop more. Or just over halfway of a cup that size. Okay, I measured it, 86 grams.
So you can't use those little shot glasses then?
Okay, very good. Thank you. Shot glasses
It's too small.
are good
Interesting.
enough for children. For children, they're enough. It's just for chinuch. But for yourself, don't use a shot glasses. You can use a small cup, but make sure it can hold.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because a shot glass is usually like a pub measure, 25, 30 mil.
25, 30 mil. No, so you need
Yeah.
you need more of that. You need 86. So that's about how much is 86. So you can have a small cup which holds that big. You don't have to have a big cup. If you have a big cup, then you have an option of filling it not all the way to the top. By the way, this is, check this. To fill up your cup and to drink the whole cup, that is a hidur. However, you only need to drink half of it. So you can fill it up. It doesn't need to be full to the top. It's not havdalah. Havdalah, fill up to the top and have it spill. It says, yes, there's actually a siman bracha. Bait shelo nishpach yain k'mayim, it's not a siman bracha. But if you overflow the havdalah cup for siman bracha. However, for the arba kosot, a full cup means up to there. That's enough. That's our full cup. It doesn't have to be overflowing, especially when you're leaning. You don't want it to spill. Make sure you have a bit more than 86, because sometimes you lose a few drops. So you maybe have a cup which is 90 mils or 100 mils. That's enough.
Which you don't have to drink in its entirety. You can drink half of it. So
very good.
You can drink 45 mil.
Excellent. If you have a big cup, normal wine glasses are about 200 mils. Normal wine glasses, maybe 250. If you have a huge one, it can be 400, 500, depends how big the glass is. Normal ones are about 200 or 250. So fill it up to near the top. That would be the best. And then drink half of it. That's enough. When you do the second cup, just refill it. And refill it and then drink half. Don't just drink the second half, because you already made a bracha on it and it's already leftovers from the first cup. So you have to make sure you refill it. And again, don't refill it. Someone else refills your cup. Someone else fills up your cup. And you don't fill up yourself. Using white wine. So red wine is better. You can use white wine, but red wine is better because red is the color of blood. Dam Pesach and Dam Milah. And also the Makat Dam reminds us of the plague of blood. And also Pisod, there's a lot of things of the yain, the dinim, mamtikat dinim. So better to get red for that. If you don't like wine, if you hate wine, you still have to drink. Force yourself to drink it, grape juice, unless it makes you ill. If it makes you ill, then do not drink it. But if you're just a bit uncomfortable and you don't like it, then try and find the nicest wine that you have and make yourself to drink it. So we said other people should pour for you, and you should pour for others. That's the first thing. You pour for others, and other people pour for you. Again, that's showing humility. To drink it, do I have to drink it in one go, or in 2 shots, or 3 shots? So ideally, you should drink it all in one go. Now, it doesn't mean I have to drink it all in one go without swallowing. I can drink, swallow, and drink, swallow. Swallowing is not stopping. Even if I need to come out for air, that's fine. Come out for air, breathe, and then continue it. The majority of course should be drunk in the first shot. After you can swallow 2 or 3 times, but without taking a break for air. The majority. Take the majority of the cup, take a break for air, and then drink the rest. However, to drink water in between, that stops, that like takes an interval, and that's not called one go. You need to go back again and drink it again in one go without having anything else. Okay. Meaning. Oh, 1 second, very important. This year, because it's Motzei Shabbat, you need to do Kiddush and Havdalah together. What do you do first, Kiddush or Havdalah?
Havdalah.
So normally you do Havdalah first. However, the order is of the Kiddush is Yak Na'az, which means first you do Yain, that means Borei Pri HaGefen, Kiddush, then Ner, which means Borei Moreh HaEsh, then Havdalah, and then Shechianu, Zman. That's Yak Na'az. Now, if you follow in your Haggadah, every Haggadah has it, the order of Havdalah. Now, what it means is you need to prepare beforehand a candle. Now, if you use your regular Havdalah candle, you have a problem. What's the problem of using a regular Havdalah candle? A big, long Havdalah candle? Is that you can't put it out. So once you've lit it, you have to just leave it to burn. So what you do is use a little candle, little tea light, which has one wick. But if you add in another wick before Shabbat to make it avuka, to make it a fire for Borei Moreh HaEsh, it's not Borei HaNer, right? It's not Ner Shel Shabbat or Ner Chanukah, it's Borei HaEsh. So to have Esh, you need to have a double wick.
Rabbi,
Two wicks which are not touching each other.
Don't we use the Chag candles for Havdalah?
So you can use, I don't know what you mean by Chag candles.
For the candles you light for the meal.
Okay, so no. So the candles that you light for Yom Tov, like the Kner Shel Yom Tov? Oh, no, so very good. Very mentioned that.
But
So
you have a candle that you light on before Shabbat that should last.
yes, so that's fine. The candle that okay, let's get this clear. First thing after nightfall, am I right, by the way, Mayor Brother, 7:14?
Yeah.
Okay. After the nightfall, so your wife lights Ladlik Ner Shel Yom Tov without Brachat Shechianu. Shechianu we make on the Kiddush. Then, where'd you get the candle from? You don't use a match. You use it from your candle that you lit on Erev Shabbat. You light not a 24-hour, a 36-hour, not 36, 48 or 72-hour candle. Or you pass on from one 48 to another 48. You need it for 3 days, yeah? Because in Chutz La'aretz. Use that candle to light your Yom Tov candles. Then for Havdalah, you want a candle that can just, you leave it to light and it'll blow out on its own. So you bring out another candle and you make Borei HaEsh on that. Now, in order to make Borei HaEsh, you need to have a double wick. Because if it only has one wick, it's only a ner. That's the problem with using a Yom Tov candle. You bring another candle and then add another wick. So either you prepare another wick beforehand, or you bring another match and you light it with a match and you leave the match on it, because that makes it a fire. That's why you see all the Havdalah candles have at least.
But you're not. So you can use the candle that you lit before Shabbat as one of the two.
That's fine. You can use that candle. Just bring in another wick. The whole problem is the wick. Now let me explain.
Because it's meoreh. It's meoreh. It's like
Borei HaEsh has to be plural. Let me just explain.
You
1
put
second,
the
just
match in at the moment.
let me finish explaining this and I'll take questions. The way you need to have the 2 wicks, you see all Havdalah candles have maybe 4 wicks or 6 wicks or 8 wicks, depending on the ones. The minimum is 2. Now the 2 wicks should not be touching. If they touch, then it's just 1 wick. So you either split them, or you make sure the flame should be touching. Because if the flame is not touching, then it's just 2 different candles. It's ner. So the flame itself should be on both of them, but the wicks themselves should not be touching. So what you do is you bring another match near it, and the match is on fire and the wick's on fire, and then you leave it there. The fire is together with the match, and then you make your Moreh HaEsh. Usually the match burns out, the candle continues. And then you wait till the end, and then you can throw it out. You can use the candle which you lit before, you can light a new one, as long as you do Havdalah.
But you don't touch it. You don't. אתה לא מכבה את זה.
No, you're not allowed to extinguish. There is a saw. It's a saw on Shabbat and Yom Tov as well to turn off the light to kibui. If that's clear, I'll take questions.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No, very good. Thank you very much. Just the matzah. you fry it with oil, right?
So very good. It's not enough to fry with oil. You need to fry with egg. And fry with egg because you need to change the flavor to taste.
No eggs for us. So what do we do?
No eggs. Okay, so if you are vegan, then you can do a vegan cooked matzah. Just means either dip it in water or either make a soup or tavlinim. Tavlinim, it needs to absorb, or you use a lot of oil. As long as it's tavlinim and you've cooked the matzah and it's changed the flavor of the matzah.
Out of
Okay,
interest,
yes.
But it's still mutzi, right?
It's still motzi if you kept it the size of kazait. If it's big of kazait, then it's shalem. Don't break it up. Okay, just an easy way for you to do it is if you make a soup, vegetable soup with flavorings, and you dip the matzah to get absorbed the flavor of the soup, and then just take it out with what's it called? A ladle, and just keep it whole, and then take it out to dry before Shabbat. And then it absorbed all the flavor of the vegetable soup, and then that's already cooked matzah. Cooked matzah and fried matzah will be the same for the halacha. Yaakov wanted to ask something.
The exception of Gilad, you could just have egg matzah then, as in
Egg matzah, no. Egg matzah is a problem, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, right.
Because why is that? Because egg matzah is going to be mizanot. It's not going to be hamotzi.
Oh, I see.
Even an egg matzah, I don't know if it's vegan as well. No. You want to have something which is vegan and hamotzi.
Just off topic, very, very quickly. Does Judaism have a stance on vegans? Out of interest, has it ever been discussed or in history? Yes. Is it ever documented anywhere? Gilad, do you know?
Yeah, actually I do. So many of the big guys were actually vegan.
Really?
Yeah.
So in fact, we gave a shiur on Parashat Noach.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so maybe Meir will be able to archive it for you and send you the link. So I spoke about it at the Barbanel, which is what the Gilad was referring to.
From Rabbi Akiva, Barbanel, and Rav Kook, and so on and so forth. So.
With all the chagim we have and all the food and everything.
Yeah, so there's a lot of meat. So there is varying opinions. It's not the only opinion. There's a lot which are against vegan. There are which is pro-vegan. And I gave the different outlook of the Torah.
I'll listen to it. I didn't mean to go off topic. Yeah. It was just it's all right.
Off
Thank
topic,
you.
But the bottom line is halakhically you are allowed to be vegan, unless you can fulfill all the mitzvot until Mashiach comes, and then you have to have at least one kazait of Leila Pesach, Korban Pesach. Apart from that, you're fine. Now we're done our 20 minutes. If you want, I will continue for whoever wants, just to do the rest of the halachot of the Seder. Whoever's tired and whoever's busy.
I'm going to do some more cleaning.
It's absolutely fine. I'm not going to be offended. If you want, you can catch up with recording later.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Laila Tov.
Yes.
All right. Laila Tov, Joe. Everyone else, feel free. I'm fine.
Still with you, Rabbi. Still with you.
You want to continue? Okay. How much time have you got? Just give me Berachah timing, so I'll make sure I fit the time. No, another how long?
Yeah, let's do a bit more. Let's say I don't know, whatever everyone else wants, but I'm okay for now.
Yeah, give me time.
It's okay. Another 10 minutes is okay. If not,
yeah, it's fine with me as well. Yeah.
Okay, so let's try and get it. Let's try and get a little bit moving, and we'll try and do another 10 minutes. Okay, let's try and keep the questions on topic. So very important. After we've done the Yak Nahaz and we've done the Ner Avdalah, so we've got the two focused of the main mitzvot of the 4 cups. We need to do mitzvah of leaning. Haseva. Haseva is leaning. When do you need to do leaning on El Seder? So there's 4 times. 4 times you need to do leaning. The 4 cups, that's 1. What else? Matzah, very good. Achilat matzah.
Maror.
So not maror, because maror is...
Korech.
Korech. Korech is the sandwich, very good, that's korech. And the last one, of course, is the afikoman. All of those 4 need to be leaning. If you don't lean, you got to go back and eat it again. So make sure, if you're leading the Seder, you remind everyone, to lean. Even if you're not leading the Seder, you remind everyone to lean. It's part of the critical point of leading. Now, how do you lean? Okay, so leaning. Let me show you how not to lean. Some people like they start drinking. Okay, oh lean, and then do this. See people do that? That's not leaning. That is tilting. Yeah, or even it's like a little head nod. They do a little head tilt. That's not leaning. Even that's not leaning. Leaning, by definition, is leaning on something. Okay? So if you have an armchair, you get yourself a pillow, you get ready, you lean on the armchair. If you don't have an armchair, then you can turn your chair on the side. I'm doing a little demonstration here on the shield. This is my chair. And that's fine. I'm leaning on the chair. Okay? Alternatively, I can lean on the table. That's also fine. Alternatively, I can lean on a friend. Okay? You get a nice cuddly friend which is comfortable to lean on. Have him as invite him to your Seder. Make sure he's sitting on your left side, and you can lean on your friend. That's fine if he obviously if he allows it. Those are the 4 different ways to lean. How much do you need to lean to be enough? So Rabbi Ovadia is known as quoting to be enough to lean. Because it's got to be most of the way down. It doesn't have to be all the way down. You can lie completely flat, but it doesn't have to be like that. It has to be more than halfway. So let's say as a 45-degree angle, more than that.
Really?
Yeah, that's what we call it, 45 angle. He used to call it 9-10. 9-10. If you imagine me as a clock, okay, and that's 12. And I'm leaning. Okay, I don't know if the camera's wrong way around, but
it's two-thirds actually.
On your left, it's 9-10. So yeah. if the table is 9 and you're 10 past, so you're leaning towards the 2 o'clock. So if I'm here, this is my left, but on the camera it's the other way around. So you imagine leaning towards the 2 o'clock. That's enough. Either on the chair, on the back of the chair, on the table, or on a friend. 4 options, not in the air. That is for leaning. Make sure you pour it by other people, and to drink, we said 86 milliliters of the cup all in one go, or 2 sips. You can take out, breathe for air, and then continue. But not to talk, not to drink something else in between. And when you say shechianu in the kiddush, also have in mind shechianu also for the matzah and for the maror and for other things over the seder. Then, after you've done kadesh successfully, are you allowed to eat? Yeah. So I will say this, and I would recommend it, especially if you're doing a long seder and people are hungry and people are getting not focused, yeah, have something to eat. Now, what can you have a munch? So I say this. This is the time to eat. After Kiddush, before Karpas, that is when you want to eat something. If you want to eat, you can eat a kazait, even kebetza. Some people have a minhag to eat kebetza. A betza, have an egg. Zecher lekorban chagiga, to have an egg. Also, the egg is also cool. Some people have minhag to eat an egg because it's a sign of avelut, that we don't have a Beit HaMikdash. You can have an egg, give everyone, it has something in your stomach, it's a bit settled down just to calm you down. You can have some fruits, apples or dates or nuts. That's also, you can have it. You can have a kazait, and you can have some vegetable sticks, yeah? If you're vegan and no eggs, you can have carrot sticks, fruit sticks, that's fine. Before karpas. Say bracha achona. Borei nefashot. Everyone's eating something? Okay. And have a pitcher of water on the table. You can drink water. That's also something to put in your mouth. Then everyone can relax, enjoy the seder, sing nicely, and that's fine according to the halacha, according to all opinions. Just make sure you do that after the kiddush. But then do borei nefashot and then wash your hands. Urchatz. Any questions? We're good? Okay, that is Rabbi's recommendation. Urchatz. You'd go and you wash your hands without making a bracha, but exactly the same halachot of netilat yadayim, and without making a bracha. Then karpas. So make sure you say urchatz. We have the minhag every time we get to the stage of the seder, we start again from the beginning. Say kadesh urchatz or kadesh urchatz karpas. Now we're karpas, and so forth. How we doing it every time, and again, all the kids enjoy it. They love it, and that's to get the children involved. Karpas is celery. Some people have other traditions. Our tradition is to use a celery. Karpas. How much karpas? And this is the time to have a karpas less than a kazayit. Why? When you make the bracha of karpas, you need to remember to say borei pri adama and have kavanah on the maror, because you're going to be eating maror. And eat less than a kazayit, because then you're going to have a mechiyuv of bracha achona. And safek brachot, you don't make a bracha.
Yeah, but Rabbi, if you have so kazayit, it means less than 25 grams.
Less than 27 grams.
27
a small
grams.
piece of karpas, yeah.
And
if
then,
you have a bit more, okay, it's fine, but you don't make a bracha of safek bracha.
But if I'm doing birkat mazon in less than 72 minutes,
yeah.
So then I have a problem.
It's a safek. That's what I'm saying. It's a safek. According to some yotzeh, it depends if you're having it in the meal. Leave it. Lachatchila, don't get into the safek. If you ate it or safek you ate it, then just carry on the seder normally. Don't make a bracha for it.
Okay.
Karpas does not need heseva. Don't do heseva on your karpas. If you want, you can, but you don't need to. And don't eat all of the karpas. Make sure you leave a little bit on the seder plate. When you get your seder plate ready, what do you need to have the seder plate? You get it ready beforehand. Make sure you're buying it all on Erev Shabbat. You need your zoa, we said a shank bone, or a wing, a chicken wing, which is roasted. You need to have an egg, your charoset. You make sure you have your karpas and your maror, your lettuce. Ashkenazim also have chazeret, but that's fine. Make sure they're all on the table, on the kara. Al pi yesod, even after you eat karpas, you should still have even a tiny bit still on the table. Then next is yachatz. What is yachatz?
The afikoman.
That is when we can, exactly. When we cut we split the matzah in half. So a few important halachot with the yachatz. Which matzah do you take? The middle one. The middle one. You take it and you split it in half. The big half is afikoman. The small half, you put it back. Okay? Now, according to the study, you should try and get a vav and a dalid. The big one's supposed to be the vav, the small one's supposed to be a dalid, and then you put it under the blanket. Now, you hide the second one for afikoman. So there's a few things different minhagim of the afikoman. So some of the afikoman that the parents hide it and the children find it. Some of the children hide it. The point is to get the children involved in the Leila Seder. Now, that was why it originated. However, sometimes it becomes a distraction. Everyone's so busy with afikoman, you're not even reading the Haggadah. So the recommendation is you tell everyone, listen, I'm hiding it. Or if you have a tradition that the children hide it, but you tell them we do it in Shulchan Aruch. After we do Amotzi, when we're eating, that's when you look for the afikoman. Why you get them ready? And we always promise a prize for the afikoman because you want the children to be involved in the Seder. The whole focus of the night is for the Seder for the children. I give out little sweets and little chocolate for the children, just to keep them awake. Ask questions for involvement. Important. Once you've done the yachatz, bibhilu. Don't forget bibhilu. What happens? Oh, we forgot to do bibhilu.
No way. Which Moroccan household forgets that?
Okay, I don't want to mention any names.
What do you mean? It's the peak of the year. What do you mean?
Bibhilu. This is the time to do bibhilu, and you do it. There's other minhag to do also this time is to do a bit of a show. Okay, and the more you do a show for your kids, the more it becomes imprinted in their mind. A child, there's something which a father can give to a child that no one else can. Not even my teacher or my rabbi is what I see from my father. That is your power that you have as a dad. And it's also a responsibility. If you're not going to do it, who else is going to do it for them? So there's the show. You knock on the door, you take the matzah on your shoulder, and you go knock on the door, and they ask you, where'd you come from? I come from Egypt, from Mitzrayim. Where are you going? I'm going to Yerushalayim. And you say, L'shana haba b'Yerushalayim. It's a little acting game. You show it. I actually one year I overacted my slavery, I started like acting out that we were slaves in Egypt, and Paro he was hitting me, injuring me. I had my kids almost crying, and I stopped there because I saw I was going too far with my acting. But that's what gets inside them. You're the actor for the night. And even if you're not good at acting, there's always a special siyata d'shmaya when you do it for the mitzvah. Then we do Magid. Okay, so Magid is long, but the halachot for Magid are short. Okay, so first thing is you pour the second glass of wine. Now you make sure if you're following with your Haggadah when to pour the wine. The pouring the wine is the beginning of Magid. You get to the end, suddenly it says drink the wine and you forgot to pour it. No, you're supposed to pour it and have it and say the Haggadah on the wine. When you say Vehish Amda, it's supposed to be full. Not then you remind now I remember to pour the wine. And then we pour the wine, and then we lift up the ke'ara and we say Bevilu. Then we say Halach Ma'anya. When you say Halach Ma'anya, show them this is the matzah. Hold it and say this is the matzah, Halach Ma'anya, and explain to them this is the bread of affliction. Before Manishtana, we remove the ke'ara shel Seder from the table. There is halacha. Now, the obligation of Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim, who needs to say the story? Everybody. The women also need to say the story. Do you need to say every word? Or can you just read it or hear it?
We say, but I
we
don't know.
say. Does everyone need to say every word? So the halacha is either you say it or you hear it. But you can't just read it with your eyes. Haggadah is not a newspaper. Newspaper, read with your eyes. Yeah? A text message, read with your eyes. Haggadah, you have to say it. So either you say it, or your wife says it, or your daughter says it, or your son says it. But you have to hear it. You have to hear it and make sure that you hear it. And some of you, we have minhag that everyone reads a little bit, or the person leading, he reads it and everyone listens. But get everyone involved. Stop everywhere, have a sing along, everyone sings together. And try and get the children to ask questions. Yeah? Say, do we normally do this? Try and encourage them with whatever bribery you can to get them to do it. After Manishtana, you bring back the Ka'ara. And then you say the Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim, Beitlahavut and Besimcha. And I have to say this, Zohar Kadosh says that a person who says the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim, Besimcha, he will merit in the future to be Sameach with the Shekhinah ba'olam haba. Sheya Simcha ha'ola al hakol. The highest pleasure of Simcha is to be with the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when a person is he's Mesameach ba'adono, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's happy at this time when we're telling the story. Says the Zohar that at the time when a person is reading the Haggadah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu calls all of the angels in heaven, Kol Pa'amalya Shel Mala, and he says, come and look. Come and listen to the Sipur of Yetziat Mitzrayim. That means everybody is in heaven, and all the angels are listening to you saying Haggadah. And they're all saying the Shvachim. And this is important because everyone comes and joins Am Yisrael in saying Haggadah. And everyone gives thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for all the miracles and for the greatness that he's done for us, for the Am Yisrael. And that gives power to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's amazing to think about it. The Zohar says, like when you praise a king and you thank him for all the good that he's done, that gives him motivation. It gives him energy. It gives him power to continue to do it. Imagine you're working and you're doing for someone that no one cares, no one notices, no one realizes it, no one recognizes what you're doing. How do you feel? You don't have no strength to continue. But even if you're working very hard, and this is a secret also.
Yeah, but that's Rabbi Netanel. This is something that we, it's Hashem is unchangeable, right? It's not that we have any influence. So you understand what I'm saying? It's like...
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You can't give God power. But the Zohar says, and this is the Lashon of the Zohar, it gives power to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I don't understand that, and that's your question, how you give power to God, but that's what it says.
He said that that's how Hashem set it up, so that he bestows it in a particular way, and if you do a particular thing, you'll receive it.
We have kochot to be mashpia. Now, it could be Hashem is waiting for, maybe what Zohar means, God is waiting for us to recognize in order to continue, maybe. Or he doesn't need to give us, we don't need to give him power, but in the saying, maybe it's like a metaphor that gives him the power to continue because that's what he's waiting for us to do. And he compares it to a king that when he gets praise, he continues to serve. I think that really answers your question. And that's why we're supposed to say the story with happiness and everything that we're doing. Once you filled up your cup, there's 2 minhagim on the dam. When you say the 10 makot, to pour out from the cup into a different bowl. Wine and water.
The same cup that you drink from?
So thank you for that question. That's what I'm thinking. There's 2 minhagim. Some use the same cup, and some use a different cup, because the cup that you've been saying the Haggadah on, that's the cup you want to drink.
Can you do from the bottle?
So you take a different cup. I don't know. I've never seen anyone doing from both, and I haven't seen that written down. What I've seen is a different cup. I don't know. I haven't seen, so I don't want to say. So you take a different cup, and then you pour out, and then the water, the wine and water, you throw it out. Okay, we're just now at the end of Magid. So we're halfway through the halacha I prepared. So do you want to stop here? We've done another 10 minutes. We'll stop here for tonight. You want to do another 5 minutes?
Call it a night, Rabbi. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for recording. We've been a long night. Again, I'm so impressed with you. We've been here for almost 2 hours, and you've got 3 days of Chag to prepare for. So I really want to commend you on that. And I thank you all for joining me and staying till the end. And B'ezrat Hashem, we all fulfilled the mitzvot, k'halacha, on Leil Seder, b'simcha, and following all the tradition to our children. And we're going to take a break for next week, B'ezrat Hashem, and we'll be back after the Memuna for another shiur, B'ezrat Hashem, on Zoom. Thank you all for joining us. Wish you all a good night.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Chag Sameach.